if it isn't my dear partners.
That voice! It's Navia!
I didn't expect to run into you guys here today. Are you headed somewhere?
How about you, Navia? Are you still busy rebuilding Poisson?
We've wrapped up most of the rebuilding, but there are still a few things left to take. Stocking up on materials, confirming construction timelines, discussing compensation terms with families affected by the disaster. Between all of that, I've been making a lot of trips between the court. Well, though the victims have received relief payments from the court, in my opinion, as our financial situation right now isn't the best, so all we've been doing is signing agreements for the damages to be repaid at a later date. Though just pieces of paper now, they demonstrate our commitment. They're necessary to restore the people's faith in us.
Oh, spoken like a true president. You're a really responsible leader. That must be taking up most of your time though, right?
Oh, you bet. Between that and all the other errands I have to run at the court, I'm always forgetting one thing or another. So before I came over this time, I took a page from Melusa's book and decided to make a list of everything. This way, it's easy to see which tasks you haven't checked off. And then, since Melus loved using... But after running a few errands in this...
That does sound like you, all right.
Oh, wanna take a look?
Let Paimon see. Wait. There's nothing here but a bunch of weird symbols. This looks like a piece of...
The first one has to do with confirming the final payment amount for the fishermen, while the...
Okay, Paimon can definitely see how you might forget what each of these mean.
Thank you for... I thought that as long as I understood my shorthand when I came...
Well, now you know for next time.
Anyway, I should have already taken care of most of the things on the list. There are still a few symbols that I can't decide. Worst comes to worst, I'll just make another trip.
Ah, so you're going to head back now?
Yep, that's the plan. Oh, actually, since we talked about the you said you don't have any plans, right? So we can just catch a
It's a bit sudden, but Paimon doesn't see why not.
Then let's go. We'll...
Oh, you mean the...
Oh, sorry. I meant our own boat. The aqua bus doesn't have a station near All right, follow me. The engineer is still doing a few routine safety...
So, Paimon has always wanted to ask. The 3 aquabus lines are all named after people in your family, right?
Yeah, that's right. Callus and Navia are self-explanatory, while Clementine was the name that my mother went by.
If you provided the Mora to build the lines, then why Spina di Rosula built all the lines, yet you still have to take a
Well, what I heard is that most of our businesses don't actually use Poisson as a hub. You are right that it is a bit strange, though. If you've...
Yeah, that's what Paimon's saying! The aquabus is so convenient.
Well, it is what it is. You know what my father was like. Even I often struggled to figure out what was... But that would only be the case if he cared about what others thought. My father was always really stubborn. From what I've heard, the rights of all the other members of the Spina only went as far as giving him...
Huh. Well, that explains why you weren't on the greatest of terms with him.
Yeah, because I wouldn't just let him...
Boss, the boat's ready. We can head out.
All right. It'll be a while before we get to Poisson. Let's keep
Navia, what was your mother like as a person? Oh, Paimon, sorry. She totally forgot that you mentioned before that...
That's all right. I've heard many stories about her from the rest of the Spina. They've always... While my papa was stiff like a board, my mother was supposedly super cheerful and my father would run the businesses and expand our reach, while my mother would keep the peace and make sure that everyone was happy. Their work made...
Sounds like they were not just a well-matched couple, but fantastic.
Yeah, but those are just stories and anecdotes after all. It's hard for me to piece together a more complete or intimate picture of her. But sometimes, I'd still look at the Clementine line and wonder, would the Spina and Poisson still be what they are today had my mother survived? Silver once said that a name is a kind of inscription, a way to etch a memory into the world. So, I will always associate the line with her in my heart. Over the past few weeks, I've also begun to appreciate how water can take in and hold our most intense feelings and memories, as well as how one may reflect on their past by watching the sea. I've lost many beloved people and memories to the sea. Even though I cannot stop for them, the fact won't change that they existed in my life and gave me the reason and motivation to move forward. Of course, but I tell myself that I need to keep looking towards... Besides, I'm the we've reached the shore. Let's go. I'll show you the new Poisson.
Navia, do you think she's doing all right? Okay, Paimon supposes you're right.
Boss, you're back! Traveler and Paimon. Well...
Oh, hey! Fancy seeing you again, Florent. Is he?
Hey, I can totally take care of myself. For the time being, I'll go around without any attendance. We did hand over some of Malus's old responsibilities to Florent, though. It's been really...
Thank you for the compliment, boss. As you see, I've been working closely with the boss on rebuilding Poisson. Mr. Malus was an extremely capable and respected member of the Spina. I've got some really big shoes to fill.
All right. There's no need to be so formal. Everyone's practically old friends by now. Were you waiting here for me? Did we manage to make any progress on the statue?
Yeah, we contacted a sculptor about the job, but they can't get started on sourcing a correct...
You're commissioning a statue?
So basically, we've been meaning to commission a statue of my parent, but since my father was known as callously unfaithful for the longest time, it would have been too controversial to commission a statue. But now that his name has been cleared, and the town is also being rebuilt, I thought this would be the perfect chance to actually realize this dream.
The funds to build the statue were freely donated by the people of Poisson to show their appreciation for Miss Clementine and Mr. Callus, and
Me? I'm just the newbie president that's running around and causing everyone trouble. Maybe we can have this conversation again in a few decades, once I've done more for the town and the people.
Hey, there's no need to be so humble. Didn't you just help save the entire country?
I agree wholeheartedly. I also believe that Boss should have a place on the statue.
Hey, if you keep inflating my ego... Just kidding. There's no way that I'd accept that kind of compliment at face value. At a minimum, I'd have to match what my father did for the people. Thanks for the vote of confidence. Anyway, Florent, now it's up to us to confirm the final design, right?
Mm-hmm. We can ask the sculptor to start looking for a good block once we've decided on the poses for Miss Clementine and Mr. Callus. But we haven't had any real discussions yet on the possible designs. I feel like I should get a few promising designs first, and then send them over.
There's no need for all that. Let's decide on a design right now. Hey, you! Come over here with me. Modeling a few poses. Didn't you say on the boat that Callus and Clementine sounded like great partners? Well, Florent, let's grab...
You've got it, boss. I'll go get the camera.
Well, what do you think? Got any ideas? Well, I've actually discussed it a bit with Florent before, but I could never come up with any fresh or original ideas. It's probably because my idea of them is already kind of set in stone. So, I want to pick your brain for a bit.
I'm all good here, boss. Feel free to start posing whenever.
A happy pose? You mean...
With all that...
Would we even be able to...
Yeah, and that'd probably be a massive pain to sculpt as well.
Could one of you try striking a pose? That actually sounds pretty hard to pull off. Forget it, let's try something else.
Ah, by that, do you mean as if we were standing on a boat and looking out at the sea? Sure, let's give that a try.
Whoa, you really remind Paimon. Look over there, my dear Clementine.
But there's something off with the composition.
Oh, I see what you mean. Then let's swap.
Well, Paimon is a fan. A statue like this.
Wait, but we can't do that.
But then, since we're putting it in the town...
Oh, okay. We'll try to think of something else.
Imposing, huh? Oh, I've got it. Let's try this.
This pose!
But isn't Clementine's pose a bit too... If we were to stick with this pose, maybe people would...
Well, tabloids did indeed speculate as much back in the day, but the Spina pulled a few strings.
Oh, Paimon was just...
What Florent meant was that we asked the You're right, though, that this may not accurately represent the image of her in our heart.
We tried a bunch of different...
Oh, don't worry. We still got a lot of reference shots out of the session. And each of... Man, if I knew I was going to do a photo shoot with the Oh, outfits! Oh, that's the errand I forgot.
Oh, Paimon remembers her. She was the one that we met while investigating Mr.
Yes, that's exactly who I'm talking about. So, I said that it's fine, but young children are not allowed to join the Spina. She will just have to wait a few years, and then we'll welcome her But how could I get her to believe that I meant what But I got so busy and distracted in the city.
Don't worry, boss. I can send someone to...
On the matter of the statue, we should still come up...
We could have just done that from the start. Yeah, you're right.
Navia! Florent, guess who's back?
Huh? But aren't you supposed to...
Oh, well, if it isn't Coulter. Back already from the Fortress of Meripede?
That's right. I finally finished serving my time. Gotta say, turns out I was a lot tougher than I thought. After I got out, I immediately made a beeline back to Poisson. You could say that familiar brine. You wouldn't believe how much I've missed Melissa's grilled fish. I dreamed about it every time.
It's good to have you back, Coulter. You look as...
And...
Let me introduce you. This is Coulter, another of Spina di Rosula's members. But, looking at it now, it was probably...
Wait, Mr. Marcel. What?
Have you not heard anything at all about...
Well, I know that Fontaine got flooded, but then the water levels miraculously receded. I thought that was all there was.
Oh, looks like we'll have to explain everything from the first things first. Let me introduce you to these two. They're...
Oh, nice to meet you. I don't recall Navia ever generously complimenting anyone like that before.
Yeah, we are indeed pretty amazing.
Humble again, as always,
Nice, nice. Spina di Rosula. Oh, that reminds me. Where?
Coulter, a lot of things happened while you were gone.
They lost their lives, keeping me safe during the flood.
What did you say? This isn't some kind of morbid welcome home prank, right?
I'm sorry, but it's...
Luce and Melissa. Luce. I was planning to get...
Malus and Coulter were friends for many years, and even served on many missions together during the...
Oh, let's sit down somewhere.
I... All of this. It's unbelievable. I can't believe that those stories were real. It all really happened. Has the world gone mad?
I think you and I both feel the same way about the profound tragedy of Maluk.
I thought Mr. Marcel would always stand by the Spina. Everything he had, the Spina gave to him. It's unconscionable to have received all...
The good news is that the Confrérie of Cabriere is no more. Gone with them too is the entire synth manufacturing and distribution. We finally closed the curtain on that long struggle.
Are you sure? But if Marcel wanted to rebel against us, he probably sent word in secret to Romeu.
Romu?
Not a name.
Florent should remember him. You see, there was once a major internal dispute regarding funding the construction of the Aquabus lines. Romeu was the leader of the faction that thought such a vast sum of mora would be better, but Mr. Callis believed that an opportunity to collaborate with the Court of Fontaine and the Fontaine Research Institute was hard to come by, and would allow us to build. Not only would the Aquabus be a good business investment, it would also boost our reputation among the general populace, eventually paying us massive dividends down the line. But the two couldn't come to an agreement. Romeu ended up taking a lot of people with him when he left Spino di Rosula altogether, and the split was on extremely bad terms.
Ugh. And with Papa's stubbornness...
And of course, when he was suffering the slings and arrows of outrageous injustice, those relationships...
Yeah, you could say it was the price he paid for sticking to his beliefs.
Oh, that's a good point. If Callus was really as stubborn as you say...
Oh yeah, it eventually became a thing that just happened on every day that ended with Y. But Navia, Boss, you might not know this, but he wasn't always like that. He used to be a lot better with taking counsel. With him listening to our advice, and Ms. Clementine also frequently on our side, it was But on the matter of the Aquabus, even Ms. Clementine...
Huh. I never knew. But from my perspective...
I think the Aquabus was just the straw that broke the camel's back. On that topic, they eventually came to a rather... They believed that Miss Clementine lost her ability to serve as an impartial mediator when she...
So, they thought... But that doesn't make any sense. Before she was their mediator, my mother was also her own person, and a member of the Spina.
Yeah, but to them, even taking a side was betrayal enough. They felt like their voices could no longer be heard once their sole mediator had gone over to the other side. Of course, Ms. Clementine then passed away, and Mr. Callis began to regard the completion of the Aquabus project.
So that's what...
From that point on, Romeu and his people cut ties with the Spina. and never gave us any kind of professional or personal courtesy ever again. Perhaps they've regarded us as enemies ever since they left. But even so, there is still no proof that they ever acted in concert.
I've also heard that they aren't in a good financial position, so they've been lying low for a while. But as long as they...
I think Coulter's got a point. Both Marcel and Romeo had my father in their sights for a very... Even though Marcel's faction has been dissolved, we still don't know anything about Romeo's whereabouts. If they're still trying to get revenge on us, with how distracted and vulnerable we are, now would be the best time.
Good thinking, boss. We should keep an eye on them at all times. I'll let my men know right away.
Thank you for that, Florent. And Coulter, thank you for telling me about this as well.
Don't worry, it's nothing. Do you have a moment right now? How about we go out for a walk? I've heard so many incredulous things today.
In that case, why don't we go back to the court? I can pick up Adele's. Want to come with me again, you two?
Of course. That's...
Then let's go! Paimon feels like a lot's hinging on this visit.
We really are the best of partners. Come on.
Are we not taking the boat this time?
It's nice to walk from time to time, isn't it? Think of it as something like a hiking trip. Once we're there, we can stay a few days before we return.
Sounds good.
Well, we've walked far enough for now. Let's take a break. Since we're out for a walk, we shouldn't stress too much about the destination.
I've grown old, so I'm not as fit as before.
Well, Paimon thinks you're doing great. We didn't have to slow down for you at all.
Back in the days before the aquabus lines were built, we often had to hike north with our goods, then catch a boat to the court. Malus and I must have traveled this way hundreds of times. When we were tired, we would lay down for a while on the grass, and when we were hungry, we'd catch a fish or two. The Spina was still on the rise back then. Mr. Callus was generous, and everyone had the chance to strike it rich. So, of course, we all worked really hard. And now, in the blink of an eye, the aquabus lines have been built, and this road is Oh, I know. I was just being a little nostalgic.
Then let's stay here a bit longer. Anyone want snacks?
Oh, is this another chance to try some of Nop?
Wait. Let me check if I have all the ingredients. Malus and Silver used to take care of tasks like this. Okay. The stove seems like we're all out of flour and sugar. The two most important ingredients. Oh, would you?
We should contribute to making the macaron too. Don't worry, we cook out in the wild all the time.
Oh, that's great. Then I'll leave the ingredient gathering to you. As long as we have some sweet flours and wheat, I can start the baking.
Then I'll go look for some boxes nearby.
Great. Then I'll prep the stove. Let's get to work, everyone. did it go? Did you find the ingredients? You've all done your part. Just leave the...
Whoa, these macarons look and taste magnificent!
Boss's baking skills have always been famous. Everyone...
Oh, it's...
Have you two seriously never considered joining us? You're so close to the boss, and she obviously trusts you with all her heart, so... Was it that obvious? I just thought you would be...
You just happened to walk in on our little reunion. It's actually been quite... Adventurers never stay in one place for long. The name of... Besides, after everything we've been through together, I'm sure our hearts would remain intertwined even if we found ourselves on opposite sides of the world.
Even if Paimon was far beyond the horizon, she'd still remember.
I understand now. Then I will endeavor to make the most of this.
We've got no wine with us, but let's still toast with water.
Cheers! Hey, what are you doing? Quick, join in on the toast!
May your travels go smoothly, may the Spina continue to grow, and may our friendship last until the end of time. All set? Let's move out then. I asked some old acquaintances in town to make Adele's uniform, so we should be able to pick it up right away. Hey there, Ludovine. How's business lately?
The demoiselle of Spina de Rose.
Nonsense. We all know what a talented businesswoman you are. No, and don't forget, she's the boss.
My mistake, my mistake. Are you here for the...
Yep, I forgot.
I didn't expect Demoiselle to come and pick it up in person. It's just a uniform after all. Any of your folks could have come instead.
Navia's always liked to take even small things serious.
Hey, that's not the only reason I'm here. We mostly just needed a walk to clear our heads. There are few things more uplifting than taking the first step on a new journey.
Boss has got a point. Going on a trip with friends is always better than staying cooped up at home.
Very well. Please, wait here while I...
Can someone remind Paimon again why Adele wants to join the Spina?
She hasn't given me any concrete reasons. All she says is that she really looks up to me. After we cleared her father's name, she became a lot more cheerful and outgoing. It's probably... She said she used to be terrified of Papa. So, as a result, she found all the rest of the Spina. But the Spina is very different now. She mustered up the courage to talk to me. And, yeah, you could say that. By uncovering she said that she wanted to become someone like me. Someone who could lend a hand to others, instead of standing still and waiting for others to help.
From the sound of it, she'll be a wonderful addition to the Spina.
I think so too. But for now, let's focus on giving her a great atmosphere to grow and thrive. She can commit to us once she's older, and can really make that decision for herself.
Is something up, Traveler? Huh? Tailing? Oh, Paimon's coming.
I'll go check it out too. Coulter, please hold on to this for me.
All right.
Paimon saw them too! They headed up!
Stop right there!
you were going to be difficult.
Seems like if we want them to talk, we're gonna need.
Brothers, there's no need to
Ow! I'm fine. Hey there! Coming at ya! Yeah. Motion to compel. Watch out! Fellow warfare, I guess. Fire! Well, with rocks. Now, talk. Who are you? And why were you...
Don't think we'll let you off easy if you keep silent.
How did it go, boss?
If you thought Anyway, stop playing tough and start talking.
We're looking to get vengeance on Spina di Rosula. We were discovered and can't beat you in a fight. We admit it. We lost.
Get revenge? Wait, you're not Romeu's followers, are you?
You actually know that name? But if you do, then surely you should understand why we hate you so much!
Indeed. You haven't got the faintest hope of winning right now.
We were out drinking when we saw Navia. We got so angry we decided to follow you guys and look for an opportunity to really mess up your day. Too bad you guys messed up ours first. Huh? You're pretty sharp, but so what? Seeing you like that just...
Listen, Callus is long dead. I am the current president of Spina di Rosula. If your boss wants to talk with me, I won't press charges for your attack.
I understand.
But if you so much as think about pulling...
All right.
Are you sure it's okay to...
I don't want to inherit my father. If the other side is willing to talk, I'm happy.
I support boss's decision as well. The concept of
Yes. Plus, we already know that they're strapped for cash. I still think we should keep an eye out for Romeu's folks, though. Then we could still have a fight on our...
Yeah, those guys definitely didn't look...
I'd rather things not go that far, since... though we haven't talked to each other for years.
Yep, that's how I feel as well. Anyway, it's getting late already. So I'll also ask someone to write Florent a letter and inform him of everything that happened here today, so he can increase security around...
Do we have to stay in the Fleuve Sonda again? Even the...
Sorry, that's just what happens when you live near water and don't get much sunlight. We can still go out in the evening for some grilled fish and drinks, though. Betcha there'll be people singing sea shanty.
Huh. That doesn't... Coming back here really does feel like, if you think about it, it would be kind of weird if the Spina's base at the court was some super luxurious building like the Palais Mermonia.
Totally. Right on the money, Paimon. Although, of course, with the continued growth of the Spina, he was a very ambitious man, who rarely looked behind or beneath him.
And that's also why people hated him
All right. Why don't you go wait for me at the restaurant? I'll go do some prep, and I'll get someone to tidy up your room while I'm at it. You can use the same room as last time.
Yep. Kinda hard to forget when there are only so many rooms here after.
Oh, Did I just hear someone taking a...
Oh, Paimon, sorry! Please have mercy, Navia. If you do that, then Paimon really won't be able to sleep at all.
I was just kidding. Be on your... Hello? Are you asleep yet? Oh, no, not at all. I just figured that... Wanna go fishing?
Oh, so that's the prep you were talking about.
Hopefully I didn't wake you or anything. Don't worry. You just think of it as keeping me company. How does that sound? Okay, let's go. To the fishing spot.
Fishing when you're using a fully automatic rod.
Mm-hmm. What's the
But shouldn't fishing be all about, you know, attentively watching the float and then...
Well, that's one way to enjoy fishing. What do you think, Traveler? Then, let's try regular rods next time.
Honestly, Paimon's mainly shocked at how much energy you still have at this...
Huh. It might just be something that
That's a thing?
I'm sure you'd get even sleepier if I delved more deeply into it. Anyway, I was just thinking about how grateful I am. My father always had a lot of unrealistic expectations for me. But the more that my mother never had those kinds of expectations. All the members of the Spina greatly respected her wish. So no matter... Can you imagine? Whenever my father wanted to scold me for something I'd done, no matter what Papa yelled, nobody else would say a word.
Paimon would have never guessed.
Yeah. Looking back on it now as an adult... When I was young, I often thought that I could do whatever I wanted. But once, I saw Malus come back wounded. He wouldn't... I learned then that there's always a cost to making a mistake. The more you care about those... Because... if you do falter, there'll inevitably come a time when you'll have to face the consequences. And when that time comes... sorry. I shouldn't have... Basically, I was just saying that the nurturing atmosphere of the Spina must have been... And if that's the only way that I can continue to feel her love...
Is that why you let those guys go today?
Mm-hmm. Although, maybe there's a part of not wanting to repeat the mistakes of the past. Hey, look! I think you've got something on the line!
But why isn't the rod on?
Oh, there must be something wrong with how I installed the mechanism. It was my first time putting one of those rods together. We can't let it get away. Come on, you two. Let's catch it.
You want Paimon to help too? You didn't attach a hook to your line?
Stop wasting time! The boss ain't gonna wait all day. We'll go ahead with the operation tomorrow. Do with that information.
Well, your rod was missing a part too, so I get.
Well, if we're just talking about the number of missing parts, sure. Oh, never mind. Paimon really can't keep.
All right, go to bed. I had a great time today. See you tomorrow. So how was last night? Did you get a good night's sleep?
Paimon dreamt that she danced with the sea stars, so you could say it was.
I didn't.
See, this guy gets it.
Anyway, let's head out. I'll arrange for a boat to take us back to Poisson. I'm sure Adele will be.
Paimon hopes she'll really appreciate your gift.
I hope so too. Adele, we're back! We brought you a gift from the court, too.
Whoa, thank you so much, boss.
Don't call her boss, okay, Adele? Just Miss Navia would be fine.
Oh, it's all right. I don't mind.
It's been a while.
Oh, it's you two. It has been a while, and I've heard that you also helped save all of Fontaine.
You're really amazing. And if Miss Navia's your friend, then what's in this thing?
Of course.
Oh, it's...
Well, it's a gift for future you. When you first told me that you were interested in joining this, but it's the Spina's responsibility to protect everyone as well. Being a member means becoming involved in... So, I turned you down then by telling you that you'll have to wait until you're older. But...
Oh, so that's it.
But you can't.
Everyone, I'm really grateful that you remembered my daughter's wish and took it seriously. Thanks to the protection of the Spina, even though her father's no longer with us, we've still felt plenty of warmth and security.
Oh, it's the least we could do. As long as you live in Poisson, even if you're not an official member, you're still part of the family.
Boss!
Huh? Is something up, Florent?
I've got something urgent to report.
What? Explode?
It seems like they've been planning this for some time. But Romeu and his folks must have gotten wind as well. Because they abandoned their we investigated their tracks and found out that they're after Poisson.
They have smartened up since we caught them
Seems like they've got no interest in sitting down and talking at all.
Sorry, I underestimated the situation.
On the hill to the east of Poisson, near the Clementine line.
They want to blow up the Clementine line?
Certainly sounds like it.
Romeu and his followers hate the Spina, and everything to do with Callus. If they manage to blow up the Aquabus line, all that rubble...
Are they insane? There's tons of innocent people in Poisson.
Yeah. If they've been planned, we have to issue an evacuation order to the townspeople, and get them as far...
Let's get everyone onto our ship. That should be the safest place.
My dear partner, can I leave the Clementine line to you? If the explosives do go off, not only would the people of Poisson be in danger, any Aquabuses using the... Let's stop their insanity first, then settle the score with them.
Leave it to us, Navia. Please stay safe, too.
Let's go, you two. We've got to act fast. Miss Coralie, please take Adele to the ship.
Watch out, boss! What do you think you're doing, Coulter?
I thought all the annoying little hindrances had left.
You mean... the... Oh. I get it now. You knew...
Not quite. Though I share their positions on some issues. And that's because, out of the entire Spina di Rosula, I only hate you. Only you, Navia.
You better stick close to me.
Romeo promised me that he would leave Poisson alone if I could just take you out. But it was like you were glued at the hip to that pesky traveler. Romeo has lost his patience. I didn't have to be here today, you know. But I swore that I'd kill you, even if it meant being buried with you in the rubble.
Why?
Only someone as clueless about the past as you would ask such a... You never saw the heyday of Spina di Rosula, nor did you... But I saw it all with my... And it was... Clementine died because of you. Callus died because of you.
So the shock and grief you showed us before...
Now you're catching on. I heard... Did you know? Down there in that blasted fortress, I spent a long time thinking about what happened, and resolving to apologize to Malus as soon as I got out. Back then, because of that aqua bus, we had a huge fallout. I was convinced the years passed by in a blur after that. I thought I had finally but then he died, and it was because of you again, Navia! It's always because of you! I once loved the Spina and Poisson more than anyone else. But what is...
Don't listen to him, boss!
Have you ever considered that maybe the people around... Have you ever considered that maybe you only get respect because you're Have you ever considered that maybe people don't stay in Poisson because of you, but only because they have such beautiful memories of the past?
Because if you do falter, there'll inevitably come a time when you'll have... Yeah, looking, but... Is that really why they support me? Is there...
Shut your mouth! I don't know how to explain it, but I like...
I'm sure Mr. Malus would be extremely disappointed in you right now. You've somehow managed to pin the blame for every mistake in...
Get out of the way, Florent! I don't want to hurt you.
You're gonna have to. Boss, there's no time for this. Stop
Maybe you think you're being the realist by painting the history of the Spina and Poisson like this. But the love that I felt from everyone was just as real. And even now, I will continue to believe in...
Coming at ya! Coming at ya! Nah! Hiya! Hey there! Attack! That's the way. Watch out! Ha! Ha ha! Ha! Coming at ya! Ha!
Laurent, I'll leave the town to you. If you find any of Coulter's accomplices, subdue them quickly. I can't allow my partner to face the danger on the Clementine line alone.
Got it, boss. I'm on it. Are you okay, Navia?
I don't...
Let's hurry up there! We have to protect the Clementine line! If they're gonna blow up the waterway, they must have planted the explosive...
Illusion shattered!
Incinerate! must be the explosives, right? And this is the control mechanism. How can we disable it? Oh, Paimon's too scared to touch any of this stuff. Huh? There's a strangely shaped hole here. What is it for? Oh, that certainly sounds possible. Okay, you take this side, Paimon will take the... Let me turn this guy over. Ugh, he's super heavy. Let me turn this guy over. Ugh, he's super heavy. Oh, you found it! That's amazing! Let's turn off the device, right? That should do it, right? Navi and Florent should be able to relax now. Oh, you're right. They could have said they're gonna bury Poisson!
Great work, partner. Just leave the rest to me.
Watch out, Navia! You can't block them all!
Block. I'm doing this the Spina way.
I heard from Thierry that even they're your enemies now. They were once a part of Spina.
I have nothing more to say. Regardless of whether their hatred and anger towards me or the Spina was justified, please prosecute them.
Sounds good. We're very appreciative of... All right, this operation is a wrap. Take him away.
We won, Navia! We saved everyone!
Yeah. Luckily, we were just in... It's probably because I...
But you usually glow up whenever other people compliment you.
Boss, we managed to catch all the infiltrators in the town. The Maison Gardiennage is taking them away as well. Seems like Romeu really went all in on this mission. If he sent literally everyone he had, though...
Got it. That's good, at least. Coulter, I can understand how you feel. The things that we lost, they're forever beyond our grasp now. And that makes them... I am not callous. And I will also never become him. The Spina and the Poisson that you loved are both gone. But I will not change how I feel about our future. I still believe that this is a great opportunity to start anew. I will spend more of what the Spina earns on the betterment of Poisson. What's more, I'd also like to propose some changes to the Aquabus routes, so that one day, the people of Poisson will enjoy the boons it brings as well.
I know what you're trying to say. Mr. Cap, there are too many things in life that...
Henceforth. But once you're discharged...
Thank you, Navia.
As I thought. Boss really is a kind and gentle person.
She is also, I must say, a truly unlucky person. Thank you for protecting the Clementine line. I was actually really scared, you know. I mean, even the Callus line won't be getting rebuilt anytime soon. If I'd lost the Clementine line too, I wouldn't know how to live with myself. A name is a way to etch a memory onto the world. Losing the line that bears her name, that I can see every day, would be like losing my mother all over again. Seeing it still standing there, tall and proud, it makes me really happy.
What happened while we were gone? Honestly, you look more upset than...
Just give her some time.
Thank you so much. Traveler, I want to ask you something. And please, tell me the truth. Do you really see me as your partner?
Of course.
That's good then. Hearing that, it brings me more relief than I can say.
How do you feel, Navia? Any better after taking a break?
I feel quite a bit better. But I should... Sorry, partner. I said some weird things earlier. I used to think that I'd never doubt myself. Coulter mentioned my parents. Do you think...
Don't think like that, Navia. No matter what others think, we'll...
Well, since it's ended up like this, there's something that I've been...
Florent, I hope you can understand.
Don't worry.
Why is everyone gathered here? And what's...
This was supposed to be a gift to you from everyone in the town. We were originally planning to show it to you once it was... But special times call for special measures. Well, if you're ready, I'll unveil the present.
Papa, Mother, and me.
We designed the look for Miss Clementine based on old camera records.
Wow.
It is indeed. To be honest, we decided on the design. We only asked Boss to decide on a design.
How could we only have statues of Mr.
Even though Boss is still young,
We wanted to commemorate her contribution.
I don't know what Spina di Rosula was.
With Navia around,
We are gathered here today that we support you and believe in you wholeheartedly.
That's what we believe as well.
Thank you so much, everyone. Then I'll be brave and just accept this really is. I never thought that I'd have the chance to. It seems like I started to question myself a bit too much. I'll pick myself up again and become a more reliable president. Looking back on it, I'm honestly embarrassed by. I'm sure everyone longs for that one thing, and to me, that would be a family portrait. I've never thought I'd receive a family portrait of my own. It seems like looking back on it, I've thought about it before. Though my mother even though my parents had the Aquabus project was a monumental project that stood to I think that's probably why she didn't step. It seems like looking back on it, whoa. Oh, forget it now. Please forget that I ever said anything. Okay, but please keep.